It's been bone dry for the last 2 weeks and everything's suffering rather, except for this Hoheria from New Zealand, which seems to be thriving. And what's more, it really is an insect magnet. If you stand here quietly, you get to see all these bees at the moment. Bees are buzzing. This is Hoheria populnea, a slightly unusual Hoheria. And if I turn this bit round, you can see the backs of the leaves are rather attractive sort of purple colour. And it's got a lovely sweet scent. And coming round, because it's been so dry, these ginger lilies, Hydrangeas tara, come out and then they more or less go over within a few days. Pretty attractive though, large, growing. The thing about this garden is there are various nooks and crannies which are liable to be missed in the general wandering around. And here I have discovered in this corner the Crinum murei that is now flowering. It is naturally occurring in woodlands, even though it looks like something that should be in a well-drained, very sunny spot. But in fact, it does best in a woodland setting. And a lovely thing it is too. It has a massive rosette of massive leaves arising from the bulb, the enormous bulb underneath, and intriguingly the flower comes up from the side of the bulb, which is a bit unusual. This is the Natal lily, so called because it occurs mainly in South Africa in the KwaZulu-Natal region, near watercourses and in rather damp woodland. A lovely bulb for a woodland setting. Now in this corner, facing into the tennis court, I've noticed a couple of things. The first is this pink, so-called pink Montbritia. It's just going over. Pretty thing. It has a bit of a mouthful of a name. Tritonia distica rubrolucens. And then lurking behind it is this lovely autumn crocus, so-called Eucomis. And it's got wonderful markings in the petals. I don't know if you can see them. And then one of the largest of the pineapple lilies, so-called, from South Africa, the Eucomis, called pole-evansii. Quite a statuesque thing. I've had to tie it up in advance because I've known from experience that it tends to flop over. One of the largest of the Eucomises that one can grow. Altogether a rather pleasant combination for the early autumn. And on a smaller scale, here's a Eucomis called, I think this was sparkling burgundy or something similar. Rather attractive, and if you look closely at the flowers, they're sort of like jewels or even porcelain. The paniculator hydrangeas, contrary to what most flowers do, and that is get paler as they get older, actually become a richer colour, go pink, and then eventually quite a deep red. So you get these newer flowers which are white and the older flowers which are deepening in colour. Makes an attractive combination. And then just around here is a group of so-called toad lilies from Japan. Unfortunate name, really. I don't really like the name. Tricertis, they're called, really, officially. But I guess the toad bit, I think, is something to do with the markings inside the petals. And the little warty excrescences on the base of the petals, supposed to be warty growths like a toad. Anyway, here it is, a woodlander, spreading nicely. Coming towards the cedar of Lebanon, this in a gale had the top blown off it. It's beginning to sort of come back, but the wonderful thing is the cones. Look at them all, aren't they fabulous? Great big cones, and normally, I suppose, one wouldn't see them quite so well because they would be up at the top of the tree. But they are very decorative in their own right. Smart raincoat, Nellie. Bertie doesn't need a raincoat. As usual, a bundle of energy. Now you may remember seeing this smallish magnolia in the spring with its beautiful velvet coloured flower buds and white flowers. Now we've got an extra bonus, and that is the seed pods, which together with the rusty buds for next year make quite a lovely picture, I think. Leavifolia, velvet and cream. Moving along from the magnolia, I'll show you this sort of what I might call sub-shrub. It's sort of semi-herbaceous. This is a very large spreading bush it makes. This is from China, called Shrubs Wallaceiana. Rather pretty trumpet-shaped flowers and really glistening purple buds. Going back now, but there's a wonderful, very distinctive scent in the air, and that is coming from this lime tree, which is flowering away like mad. This is Tilia henriana with its characteristic jaggedy leaves. The new growth is beautiful red colour in the spring. There's a sort of vaguely a sort of taste of what it might be. But it's a lovely tree with distinctive foliage and of course beloved by insects. For a late flowering, very early autumn picture, I'm going through these double anemones which came from my father-in-law, which he'd had for many years, so I'm not entirely sure what the variety is, but looking below the heavily buried cotoneaster is this rather scrambling herbaceous clematis. In fact, I think we'd better see it from the other side. Yes, well, here it is from the back. Rather attractive with the split seeds of the lords and ladies. But it will spread far and wide, herbaceous, so it disappears in the winter. I've had it a lot of years, many years. So it's one of the older varieties and it's called Mrs. Robert Bryden. There are now quite a few other varieties with deeper colours. Now, looking rather stunning from now on for a few weeks is the Swamp Mallow, so-called Hibiscus moscheutos. Moscheutos means musk scented. I can't smell anything. But anyway, the thing is, it's got these fabulous buds, which I think are lovely in their own right, which then open to short-lasting but ginormous flowers. This one is a form given the name lunar red. Astonishing, isn't it? The thing about it is the flowers do come out in succession over quite a long period of time. It has quite a wide range of habitat, normally marshy, slightly salty, and all the way north to fairly far south in the United States. It seems happy here. It's been here for a while, over many years, near the south wall of the walled garden, in a fairly dry position, so it seems quite adaptable.